Patrick, do you mind calling the,
Aleppo, Avalon, Bell Acres, Bellevue,
Here.
Ben Avon,
Here.
Edgeworth, Emsworth,
Here.
Glen Osborne, Glenfield, Hayesville,
Here.
Kilbuck,
here?
Leet,
Here.
Leetsdale,
Present.
Sewickley,
Here.
and Sewickley Heights.
Here.
Great,
Glenn Osborne
Great.
is here, please.
perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Patrick, do we have any guests tonight for public comments?
No public comments, no guests.
Okay, we'll go to the fifth element on the agenda, which is the check-in regarding COVID-19. I think things are getting better around Pittsburgh, so if anyone has something they want to share, now is the time.
I'm all for going back in person.
That's great, Jeff. We're gonna talk about it in new business. So we have a plan and it's gonna be open for discussion.
Good.
So, yep. Okay, next is the omnibus list of motions regarding the budget, the expense, payroll, minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Or second, whichever.
Okay, so Paul made the motion and who was the second?
I'll second.
Okay, Donna, great, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, Patrick, do you mind giving us a little bit of the important salient elements of the omnibus list of motions?
Sure, so the minutes I sent out to you guys, so those would be approved. I'll go ahead and put that on the website for the public tomorrow morning. I would note one thing in the budget to actual that I was made aware of is a large decrease in RAD just from 2020 to 2020 or 2019 to 2020. We budgeted 5,000 for operating expenses, and I think we came below $400 for that. So that was one thing that stuck out to me. We also have our Esri for our GIS subscription that was renewed, and our Unsightly subscription. So those are two larger charges that you might observe on our credit card statements there. And next month, we're expecting a substantial payment from Michael Baker for our Route 65 study. It's a pass-through payment from CMU that goes through Michael Baker. So next month, we'll be seeing that.
Great. So just to be clear on the RAD, it's not that we haven't received it, but it's the projections are really low compared to last year.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll keep tracking this, and if we see that the budget, if that makes a big impact, we'll discuss further in the coming months. Okay, any questions from the board to Patrick for any of those?
No.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Hi.
Any opposed? Okay,
I
motion
abstain.
carries. That was Anthony. Tony, did you abstain?
Rostek Sewickley, I wasn't at the previous meeting, so I abstained.
Oh, I got you. Okay, sorry. You sounded like Tony. I'm sorry. I apologize for this.
Sorry.
Okay, next is President's report. I guess from my perspective, I've been working with Patrick to slowly come on board, and of course, Patrick and Susan did the heavy lifting, and I'm sure Patrick will talk about this. And so that's all I have for tonight. Patrick, you're next.
Yep,
Welcome, Patrick.
Welcome.
So for the executive director's report, it's going to be in your team site there. And what I'll do is I'll send it to all staff and all delegates as well. This is something I encourage you to put in your packets, and it's something I want to make a staple in our monthly meetings here. And it's just a summary of what we've done in the last month and what we anticipate in the future. It's something that I've heard in my short time here that members have been wanting. So I wanted to make sure that everyone had that. So just in summary, we were awarded a grant for our proactive code enforcement operations in the amount of $24,600. We anticipate this program rolling out in the summer of 2022. And we'll be working in the coming months to sort of build that framework and make sure we have as efficient operation as possible for that. So really happy about that grant award. We have been working on the refuse and recycling contract, which we'll get into a little more detail further in the agenda. Also in the report, I note the traveling glass dumpster operation, which will be occurring in additional 5 locations through August. And the Hard to Recycle event on July 10th. I would note that Leedsdale and Edgeworth have agreed to help us out with the police operations and traffic control. So we'll be trying to promote that as much as possible. I'll be sending out some promotional flyers through PRC in the coming days. And I just ask that everyone please promote that. Word of mouth is huge. Let's make this event something special here. And last but not least, Janet Wenger's recognition lunch will be on June 23rd. So it'll be at the Avalon Park from 11:30 to 1:30. So invite everyone to attend and celebrate Janet's time here at the COG and her retirement. So I encourage everyone to come if you can.
Yeah, there's a RSVP to Susan for this at her old email address.
I'd like to remind everybody for the PRC event, that's a ticketed item. That's not to show up. They have time slots, sort of like going to a museum or the zoo or something. So they're free, but you have to go in and register in, and there's time slots available. So if you don't hit the one in Quaker Valley, there's one out in La Roche College a couple weeks later, but let people be aware there are time slots, so you just can't drive down the way we did previously with a little bit of change due to COVID. So
Yeah, I'll be meeting with Ashley tomorrow to talk about that event and other future events too. So I'll get as much detail as I can about that and see if we can make this event an efficient one.
I think it'll be great. It's one little change from what happened before.
Okay, great. Any questions for Patrick regarding the report for June? All right, thanks, Patrick. We'll go to new business. Yeah, maybe Patrick, it's still maybe up to you to talk about the continuity of operations and the work that you've done so far.
Yeah, so Susan and Janet have been a great help for me. Susan in particular has helped me meet a lot of the individuals and groups that'll be working with the COG in the past and in the future. Janet's been doing a really good job helping me understand CDBG, as well as just the ins and outs of daily operation, payroll, and reports. The last week's been pretty immersive in that regard, just getting everything ready for the packet and talking with the county for CD 46 and 47. So they've been very helpful. I'm getting more comfortable, but I'll probably be working with them for another week or so, maybe another couple weeks to really make sure everything is prepared and I'm in a good spot. So I really thank them for agreeing to help out, and I think they've been very helpful.
That's great. So a couple more weeks, you think, Patrick, or?
Yeah, I think that would be good. And I don't know how much time Janet's got left in particular. I think she's trying to finish up next week, so it might not even be 2 weeks for her. It might be another week or so. But just there's a lot of nooks and crannies in this operation that I'm trying to figure out, and I think we're getting there. But I think another couple weeks would be great. That's
great. Good. Okay, yeah, let's jump into the topic that Jeff wanted to talk about, the future meeting structure. Yeah, why don't you maybe discuss what you and I covered.
Yeah, so the last managers meeting, I was just gauging what the staff operations were doing in the COG, coming from South Strabane and Washington County. What we were able to do for our meetings was sort of a hybrid model. And, we would invite members of the public to attend if they felt comfortable with social distancing and kept in mind at the time in person. And we also had the meeting broadcast over Zoom. And how that worked was we had a projector, which we have here at the COG as well, that we project the people attending over Zoom on the wall, and those members of the board and public could see them and sort of interact back and forth. And John Sebastian and I were sort of kicking the tires on proposing this. That way we can bring a little bit of normalcy back as far as in-person meetings, but we also want to encourage those who may not feel comfortable meeting in person or might not have the availability to meet in person to still attend through Zoom. So I did build sort of a little game plan here that we can go over if you guys are interested. So, the meeting structure would be a roundtable of sorts, and this would allow us to use a camera microphone device that we could put right in the middle of the meeting. And then everyone that's attending in person meets, with 4 or 5 tables in a roundtable setup. And the projector would be put on the wall. This would be a mobile operation that we could visit each municipality or bounce around those that are willing to host us. And the meeting link would be posted on the webpage, so members of the public could attend in person or over Zoom if they'd like. And the meetings would be continued to be recorded and posted on the web at the conclusion of each meeting. So what I'll do is share my screen and show you guys what the equipment was. In South Strabane, it was a pretty intricate operation because one of the staff there was really big into audiovisual. And, it was a good production, but at the same time, that can be a bit of a pain, a lot of wires, and you need to have a high level of expertise to make that run. So what I was able to locate online is called a Meeting Owl. And it's almost like if anyone's run into an Amazon Alexa device, it's not very big, but it has a 360-degree camera as well as a microphone system that captures the visual and audio for the entire room. That way, people watching at home, whether it's members of the public or members of the board, are in the experience just like they would be at home or in person. So I'm just going to go ahead and share if I can. Share screen. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Yep.
A quick 50-second video here that explains the operation a lot better than I can.
Need to collaborate as a team, but you're not all together? Perhaps to come up with a video about video conferencing, you should use the smartest video conferencing technology. The Meeting Owl is easy to set up, connects to any conferencing software, and the 360 camera and microphone capture the entire room, so everyone can feel fully present, even if they're not. You get a panoramic view, and the Meeting Owl automatically focuses on who's talking.
Here's my perspective. And my perspective over here.
So everyone can share their ideas, no matter where they're coming from. Even me. What if I narrate the video from home? Great. So that's our video. That was easy.
So it's just a one-stop shop, easy to plug and play. And I think that's the idea that I had in mind here, is to make it as simple as possible. And if members wanted to use that technology, they'd be more than welcome to do so, as long as it didn't interfere with COG operations. So
How much are they, Patrick?
so they range from $800 to $1,000. So the cheaper model is $800, then the more like HD high definition one's $1,000.
Thank you.
That takes the place of all the equipment that you would need, like a mixer, microphone, camera. It's all in one. So I really like the feel of it, and the reviews are pretty solid.
Yeah, so it's just to echo what Patrick said at the beginning. I think that, I could sense over the months that people have different level of comfort about meeting in person. And the last thing we want is to exclude members. So, we worked hard on the bylaws last year to include provisions for remote meetings. And if everybody is okay with it, and again, it's time now, if you want to comment on the proposal that Patrick has put together. But again, it's the goal is to be very inclusive with everybody. And if you don't want to join, or you've got a meeting and then you can only make the meeting at the last minute, then it's okay too. You don't have to miss the meeting. And again, the plan is to buy this unit and share it with the members if you guys feel that it's something that your municipality is also going to be interested in. I know in Kilbuck we will go back in person, but some supervisors need to travel for business, but they still want to attend, and that's perfectly okay according to second-class townships. So we will certainly borrow it and see how that works for us, and later buy one, if that makes sense. So yeah, want to open this to discussions. If you have an opinion, we are welcome to hear it.
I mean, I like the hybrid idea. It, maintains the flexibility we have right now, which is just kind of nice. Be out of the office if needed. So I support the hybrid model if we can do that.
Awesome.
We, Emsworth Borough, where I got an email blast from the, excuse me, State Boroughs Association on Monday, stating, from the associating stating that the boroughs need to go back into full meeting and that there would be no more video because the video was authorized under the emergency declaration. The emergency declaration expired yesterday from the governor, plus the legislature put their foot down. And it would, and I'm happy to send this to Patrick and you also, John, that
Sure.
their take was they're working on a law to let you video conference in. You're allowed to phone in now, but they are working to permit it because they realize people are doing it. But their version of boroughs through the borough code and the state law is we must meet in person at this point, starting from yesterday. So
I got you.
Yeah, we actually started this month on the 10th meeting in person.
Okay.
Glenn Osborne has not met in person. I mean, one of our difficulties, since we don't have a borough building, is finding a place to meet that is safe. I mean, the school won't let us meet, the library won't let us meet in person. So and truthfully, I enjoy being able to see people rather than just be on a phone. It's too bad. I know, Paul, what I did read that the legislature's email that said we need to meet in person, but I hope that changes.
Hey, Barb,
So,
if
Yeah.
you would need, I will see if I can offer up Leetsdale, but that's a heck of a way for you guys to travel.
We're looking, thanks, Jeff. We're looking into Swickley Borough, but we do have half our members that are not comfortable with meeting in that space. So we'll see.
We have the community room. You can,
That's
meet.
right. That's a nice big room. I
Yeah.
will bring it up to them. I will certainly mention that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Hayesville is definitely having a similar issue because we don't have a building of our own. So, and we've always traditionally met at the school, but that's not an option anymore, or the library. Glenfield has offered for us to meet there if we need to, but that definitely is an issue. But for the current conversation for COG, I fully support continuing to have the option of being remote or in person. Occasionally it's, it's nice to be in person, but for my own, beyond COVID, for my own reasons, I have young children and being able to be home for dinner and then go jump on the meeting it's a huge benefit. So I'm
that's great.
much more likely to be able to continually attend if we can have some flexibility.
Okay. I think what we will definitely, push for the in-person next month. And Patrick, do you know where we're scheduled to meet if that's the case?
I believe that we can have this at the Kilbuck Township Building, just for that first meeting. And then as we sort of figure out this structure, the hybrid model, if those municipalities that feel comfortable are willing to host us, we could rotate around. I don't see a reason why we can't bounce around. It's going to be a pretty mobile operation. It's just that OWL camera and then my laptop and the projector, of course. So pretty light. It shouldn't be too cumbersome for anyone to host it. So that's
Okay.
something I think we could talk about down the road as far as other places other than Kilbuck.
Yeah, we'll host.
Great.
Yeah, we should actually consider Leetsdale for the next one. So maybe
You want Leetsdale?
Yeah, it's a big room. I think it would be very, very nice. And Jeff, we would be able to access the Wi-Fi over there, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. Okay. One last thing I wanted to talk about for the meeting structure, the team site that Susan has built in the past, it's actually coming to an end. Google is going to be phasing that out. And to be honest with you, this was my first go of it. I've never used a team site for a packet before. It is efficient and nice, but I'm used to more of a traditional packet working for a township myself in the past. And what I was thinking of doing is building a, a PDF document in order of operations, the agenda and then any subsequent documents just right behind it, right? And I could send that PDF to each delegate, and then I just save it in our Google Drive. If anyone needed to access the old documents, I could just send it to you, but it would be more of a traditional quote unquote packet. It'd be electronic, no paper, but I would just send that as opposed to an agenda with clickable links, right?
I think
I
that's
like
great.
that idea.
I do.
I, so what about, there's quite a lot of documents. I don't know if you want just keep the PDF or we still want to print hard copies for in-person meetings. So I don't know how you guys feel. I would be okay to bring an iPad or a laptop to view the documents, but or maybe what we can do is if you request it to Patrick, then you get a hard copy. Otherwise, don't expect to see one. I don't know. Any comments on that, Patrick, or any board members?
I think that's a great solution. If you guys prefer a physical packet, just let me know. My goal is to make this as much like a municipal operation as you guys are used to, right? So the Friday before the meeting, I would have the packets ready. If you guys wanted a paper version in person, I could have it waiting at the desk for you when you guys come to that meeting. But everyone's going to get that email PDF, right? Everyone's going to get it digitally. But if you want it paper during the meeting, let me know.
Perfect.
Okay, everybody's happy with that? Awesome. Okay. Actually, should we have a motion to meet in person in Leetsdale, or should just informally is okay? I guess I just don't know. I'm just throwing this out there.
Well, we're gonna have to advertise it.
Right. So do we need a motion, Paul?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
Sure.
Okay, what's your motion?
To have the next regularly scheduled Quaker Valley COG meeting at the Leetsdale Municipal Facility.
Thanks,
I'll
Paul.
second.
Okay, Jeff, second. Discussions? Let's go for the vote. All in favor? All in favor,
Aye.
please say aye.
Aye.
Pretty
Any
sure she was
opposed?
saying aye also.
Yes. Great. Okay, motion is approved. Patrick,
question.
yes.
One quick question, Patrick. With that camera, in order for the paperwork, will you be able to share a screen on that if somebody has a question?
Yeah.
You would bring. I think it answers everything right there.
Yep. So it'll run just like this, but instead of using my web camera, like it's looking at me, it'll use that out camera. And then whenever I want to
Okay.
share the screen, I just share the screen like I did earlier.
I think
Wow.
that's great.
That's a nifty device.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
well-
if everything goes well, there's a 30-day trial on it. If everything goes well, you guys would be more than welcome to use it yourselves and see if you like it.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to member visitations.
Yeah, so I've been able to queue up about 8 or 9 visits thus far with our member municipalities. I've already had 2, one with Edgeworth and Kilbuck. I get to see Harry a good bit here. So I'm just working on finalizing that last batch of visits. So I'll pull up my my schedule real quick so you guys can see. But share, can you guys see that?
Yep,
So
maybe make it a bit bigger. That'd be nice. Awesome.
So yeah, so next week I'll be, well, actually, next week I'll be visiting Emsworth and Bellevue. I was supposed to visit tomorrow, but it's going to be kicked to next week too. So Bellevue and Emsworth next week, Aleppo the following week, then Glen Osborne, and these are real flexible, right? My whole goal in this operation is to just get to know the staff, the needs you guys need, what challenges you guys are facing. Just a couple hours for a couple of days that week. It doesn't need to be the whole week. I travel real light, laptop, cell phone. So I hope to be as unintrusive as possible, but this is just for me to get to know you guys and for your staff to put a face to the COG. So I think Sewickley, Avalon, Bell Acres, Hayesville, and Glenfield, those are the only ones I need to still schedule, but everyone else has a set week for us to work with.
Was
That's
I supposed to know about this somehow?
I've been working with Cindy in Bellevue, so I guess yes, today she just emailed me. This is just for the staff. I do want to meet with the boards and commissions as well, but this is just for staff, more or less, just to say hello, and that's about it.
I'm on vacation next week, but it's, I think it's a high priority that we do meet soon.
Yeah, yeah. The next step is after these are all finished up, I want to get the schedule made for the board and commission meetings. So keep an eye out for that in the next week or so too. And obviously with 15 towns and a lot of these meeting dates overlap, that'll probably happen over the course of 2 or 3 months before I get to see every board and commission. But
You might
Hey,
need to go back to
Patrick?
Bellevue. Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff.
I will be on vacation the week of the 16th through the 20th. But our meeting is the second Thursday of the month. So if you wanted to come to the meeting, it would have to be during that time.
okay. Yeah, we'll definitely tackle those meetings. This is more or less just from like 9 o'clock to noon, maybe 1 or 2
Gotcha.
that week.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's very informal. I just, hey, I work for the COG. Tell me about
Gotcha.
what you guys got going on. How can I make your lives easier as staff, right? So
Yeah, Patrick, I think we should talk and maybe do a round with the elected officials, go to spend 5-10 minutes in our main meeting.
yeah,
So let's talk about this in the coming days.
definitely.
Okay. All right. Old business, solid waste. It's been quite a lot of work there. So maybe give us some of the highlights.
Most definitely. So I was able to, after a little bit of confusion with our paper of record, get everything queued up for our pre-bid meeting. So July 2nd, it's a mandatory meeting. Any of the prospective bidders for this contract, the 5-year waste and recycling contract, are mandated to come. We're going to have it here at the Kilbuck Township Building at 9:30 again on July 2nd. So that'll give us an opportunity to meet the prospective bidders. They can ask questions about the bid specifications and sort of give everyone a more clear picture. And then the bids themselves will be due on July 22nd, which is a Thursday at 11 a.m. That'll also be held here at the municipal building at Kilbuck. And the 4 prospective bidders that were outlined by Michelle Nestor, who is the big player in generating that specification list with the recycling committee, the garbage and recycling committee, were Vogel, Noble, Waste Management, and Republic. All 4 of those companies have been notified and were given the specifications in advance. So, just sort of standing pat until that pre-bid meeting. And I do want to thank Michelle and the members of that committee that helped write that contract. I sort of walked right into it, and the only thing I had to do was really advertise it and schedule these meetings. So a lot of the heavy lifting was already done in advance. So I do thank them for their efforts.
And I just wanted to thank Paul for the last round of comments that he made. I think everybody should have a copy, right, Patrick? I think all the managers, secretaries have what is considered the latest copy of the. Okay.
So each municipality was sent the specifications, and I do have the specifications on our website as well. So anytime there's any questions, those are available there. And yes, thank you, Paul. There's a couple questions I'm still digging the details on here. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's a pretty tight list. And like I said, July 2nd, that's when the pre-bid meeting will happen.
Okay. Hard to Recycle event. I think we touched on that.
Yep. So July 10th from 8:45 to 1, we'll have the Hard to Recycle event at Quaker Valley High School. In advance, I wanted to thank Leechdale and Edgeworth Police Departments for helping out the traffic control there. We are going to be working with Pennsylvania Resources Council on that. Tomorrow, I'll be meeting with Ashley D. Gregorio, who's the head for that aspect of PRC. So I really look forward to that meeting just to get to know her and know how their operation works as far as these events. I do have flyers that I'll be sending out to all municipalities. So I encourage you guys to promote this in your towns, your Facebooks, your Twitter accounts, your websites, whatever the case might be. If you can have it in your municipal building for visitors, that'd be great too. Just so people are aware of the rules, the fees, the structure, everything like that. I think word of mouth is really, really important for these sort of events. So,
Patrick, could you repeat the location of the event is?
yeah, the Quaker Valley High School. So it's in Leechdale Borough, but the high school for Quaker Valley.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick,
All
just
right.
step back. Is the the mandatory meetings, is that when those questions will be answered I brought up, or?
Yeah, so we'll definitely be highlighting those questions to the haulers so they're aware of them as far as the bulk items that you mentioned, the refrigerator units and so forth. But yeah, that's a mandatory meeting for anyone that's going to submit a bid. They need to come on that July 2nd meeting.
Okay, so you expect to put on an addendum on some of that then? To the-
Yeah, so I do anticipate some changes from that that original bid spec. And that's outlined in the agreement that any questions that anything we change that would be an addendum.
Okay.
Okay. Traveling glass, anything you want to add to that?
Sort of the same thing as I have some flyers from PRC that I'll be sending out to those host municipalities and for all municipalities. I'm going to send it out to everybody. That way your towns are aware of it. Please spread the word. Killbuck hosted their glass bin at the end of May. I think it went pretty well. But and, in order to get our best bang for our buck, we need to make sure these events are promoted in town and make sure everyone's aware of them as far as the rules and when they'll be there. So on that note, I did receive the bill from PRC for the deposit, which is 50%. So those participating municipalities will probably be receiving an invoice from the COG at some point next week, just for that 50% deposit. Also tomorrow when I meet with PRC, just from my knowledge, I did work with them in South Strabane to an extent. I want to make sure that I understand what our options are for a more permanent solution. In my opinion, recycling is all about routine. Having a bin bounce around from this place to that place this week and that week, it's really confusing, and there's really no way to teach our constituents what's going to happen, right? So my goal is to understand what our options with PRC for a more permanent solution are. So
Great. CDBG? Oh, sorry, question?
Yeah, Dr. Basson, I have a question. I know we were first talking about the mobile recycling. There was potentially a fee if we kind of filled up the recycling bin and had to have it emptied midpoint of those periods. I was just curious if we had any information on what the participation from a waste amount was there, recycling amount. Is it? I just recall there was some additional fee potentially if we had to empty it midway through. I said no. What the feedback was on the usage.
Yeah, I could tell you that didn't get emptied more than once at Killbuck, but I could definitely find that out tomorrow and touch base with you.
Yeah, I'm just curious in general, Pat. It's not a rush thing. I just wanted to bring that up.
Fingers crossed that we do have that much participation. That'd be great. That's 4 tons of glass. That's a lot of glass.
Great. CDBG?
Yeah, so I do want to report that the Killbuck Township and Leet Township ADA projects for CD 46 were granted extensions just today. So those projects are extended. We did get notified last week of the CD 47 projects. So I'll just go over those real quick. So Bellevue was granted 2 projects totaling $83,000 for the both of them. Leetsdale was granted 2 totaling about $88,000. Avalon was also granted 1. A lot of these were ADA compliant projects, but really happy, over $270,000 total for CD 47 for the COG communities that were awarded these grants. So again, these are projects that I've walked into. So we'll be definitely making sure that these are compliant and the process is done correctly. But one of the main things I want to do in these site visits down the road between now and let's say August and September is get to know what projects you guys want to see in your communities and how I can help facilitate that with the county and your community. So again, these are projects that I already walked into, but I'm really looking forward to working with you guys moving forward on getting new projects, additional projects, and getting as much money from the county into these communities as we can.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I know we got the CITF for the COG, which is pretty amazing. Killbuck applied for one, we didn't get it, but at least it's good to have those that list of projects. So if another CITF round comes around, we'll put it in. So we should definitely compile that list. Doesn't matter if it's CDBG or not. So good, awesome. Is that it, Patrick?
That's all I have.
All right. Okay, let's go to the concerns from the delegates. I think, Patrick, what we used to do is go through the list of for the roll call and just maybe call the municipalities one after another, and it's easier than remembering who's on the call.
Yeah. Aleppo, anything? Avalon?
Don't know, are they there present?
No, they're not. So that's, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Bellevue, anything from Bellevue?
Tony?
Sorry,
We'll come back.
I was on mute.
Okay. Okay.
If we put the streetscape project out to bid for a new designer, we need to know if that'll jeopardize the funding and what the timeline would be for that.
Tony, could you send me an email, just sort of outlining that concern? I'll get it to the county and see what I can get for you guys.
Will do.
Thank you. Anything else?
Not right now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Ben Avon?
You know, Patrick, we're meeting tomorrow afternoon to talk about our borough building rehabilitation project. That's kind of the key one. We also have a kind of environmental group working on some things within the borough too that I'd like to chat with about when we broach that subject tomorrow as well. I think otherwise we're pretty good.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, in the meantime, feel free to reach out with an email if you have any questions. All right, it leaves us with Emsworth.
Everything's good in Emsworth. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Glenn Osborne.
I think we're fine. For Aleppo, we are in the process of rebuilding, doing the stormwater on Sycamore Road and then repaving it. It's a big project for Glen Osborne.
Wow.
Hayesville.
Nope, nothing for us.
Thanks, Amy. Kilbuck.
Nothing from Kilbuck.
Leet Township.
We're wonderful.
Eastdale, anything, Jeff?
Nothing at this time.
So Wickley.
A subject that we've been working on for a little bit. Some of our roads above Nevin Avenue that are very steep, a lot of slope problems, a lot of them are starting to wash down, and so we got some very expensive projects that are might be coming our way there. So just something we're starting to think about and see how we might get the COG involved with county funding or whether other funding is available. But a lot of roads that are very unstable in those steep slopes.
Yeah, look forward to working with you guys.
So we had a slope stabilization project a couple years ago. And we spent, I think, 10 years analyzing the cheapest solution. So we maybe we should talk.
Okay,
There is no cheap solution.
There's none, but some are cheaper than others. I can tell you.
Yeah,
this.
I agree.
I have a very good landslide engineer who really likes to work with municipalities for cost-effective solutions that don't break the bank. I can share that with Patrick tomorrow, and he can distribute that. He's a really good guy. He's in Wexford. He's local. So just for.
Okay,
that's fantastic.
Thanks, Nate.
Seeing it.
And Nate, take it away. Anything in Swickley Heights?
We're wrapping up. Well, we're not wrapping up, but wrapping up the engineering on a culvert replacement on one of our only gravel road. We have some road resurfacing going on. My transition still, much like you, Patrick, it's an ongoing process. So, we have that. Otherwise, things are good.
Great.
That it?
I think that's it.
All right, great. Thanks, everyone. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, Jeff, second.
Second.
Barb. Okay, all in favor? Say hi.
Hi.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next month, if not sooner.
Thanks,
Hey,
everybody.
John,
Thank you.
Yes,
Good night.
how's the weather up there?
in Vermont.
Yes.
Good night. Bye.
It's great. It's great, actually. It was a bit warm like a week ago, and then it's starting to cool. So I've got my